Hi everyone. Okay, today we are going to make cream puffs, and I don't like sweets too much, but I love cream puffs. And I love any dessert, I just don't like candy. The recipe for this is going to be on my blog, and I'll post it on the link, on the side of the link. It's my first video, so I'm nervous, so. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to heat water, sugar, and salt in the pan. This would be better lighting, but I don't know where my tripod is, so my husband is my tripod. So honey, if you could just look into the pan. And you want to just kind of dissolve the sugar and the salt. And then you want to put in a half a cup of butter or a stick of butter, which is the same thing for all the people who don't want to do the math. I have also lined my baking sheet, and I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees. And we will wait until this melts. Okay, we're back, and the butter is all melted. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our flour, and we're going to slowly add it to our mixture that we have here. And you want to do it so you don't get any lumps. A lot of people like to whisk it, but I don't think that's necessary. Just be careful. And you might want to turn down the heat because it's going to want to simmer up over that. And you want to use a wooden spoon so that way you don't burn yourself, because this is going to be in here the whole time now that we're doing this. And you just want to stir until it's all mixed in. And see what it's doing? It's like pulling away from the edges and making a dough in the pan. This is called pot de choux, which in French means choux paste. So this takes a little bit of muscle, but all you want to do is basically cook the flour a little bit so that way it doesn't taste like flour, so you don't get the nasty flour taste. These muscles gotta be lean and fit for this, kids. Okay, so you want to go ahead and let it cook. I would say medium-high heat, nothing higher than that. You don't want it to burn. And see how it's pulled away from the edges? I don't know if you can see that, but it's pulled away. And it's like steaming, which is good. And the more that you cook this, the more eggs you're going to need. Okay. Once that happens, you can turn off your heat completely. And there's many, many different varieties of cream puffs, and there's a lot you can do with them. You can dip them in chocolate. You can add coconut to them. You can do basically anything you want. But today we're just going to make normal cream puffs. Now, one at a time, and very carefully so you don't scramble your eggs, because that can happen, you add an egg. And you stir. And I think I got a shell in there. Oh no. I think this is why chefs like Paula Deen and Jada use everything from one bowl to the other. But I'm a rebel. And see how it looks like it's not ever going to mix in? It will. And you want to do one egg at a time, so that way you know how much it's going to take, so you don't overload it. Okay, another egg. And as you do this, it gets easier. As you add more eggs, it gets easier. Please don't give me shell this time. I could have been lying all along. There probably really wasn't any shell in there to begin with. You really should wash your hands when you do each egg, but I'm not going to go all the way over to the sink, because it's too far. Okay, all of our eggs are stirred in, and I don't know if I mentioned this, Make sure your heat is off while you're stirring in your eggs because you don't want scrambled eggs. That's not cool. That's not what you want. Well, not if you're making cream puffs at least. Okay, so you can see how gloppy it is. That's what you want. So what you're going to do is, I don't have a piping bag because I'm not cool enough yet to have a piping bag. What you want to do is, if you don't have a piping bag, get a Ziploc bag, if I can say that on YouTube. If not, get a clear plastic bag and put it in and cut the tip off. And I will do that and be right back. Okay, it is all in the bag now, and I twisted it so that way it doesn't come out. And you want to just make little cream puffs. You can make bigger ones if you want, that's not a problem. But all you do... Uh-oh, I'm moving. Oh no. Sure you have clean hands, guys. I should have tacked this down. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Excuse my dork moment. I'm a really good baker, I promise. Just can't see it right now. Okay. Just like that. Kind of. Ha! So that happens when you don't have a pastry bag. And you want to space them pretty far apart because they are going to expand. I have piped them out, and you can see that they're like a little pointy and weird looking. What you do is you take egg wash and you just brush them and brush the points down because they will burn. At this point, you can add coconut, which is what my recipe calls for, but I'm not going to add it because I don't have any. Because again, I'm not cool enough to have coconut, which is fine. Just kidding. Anyways, you would add this after the egg wash. And this is where you can make them a little bit more uniform. Whatever. But they're fun when they're kooky shapes. And you brush, like I said, brush down all the points, if there's any points, like right here. That way they don't burn. And the purpose of the egg wash is to brown them. And as you can see outside, it is snowing. And this is the perfect weather to make cream puffs. Because it's snowing, because you have to have your oven on at 400 degrees. It's going to tell you how hot I am right now? I have no idea. No idea. Alright, let's pop these into the oven. Hot. Whoa, that was hot. Okay, the cream puffs they're baked now and they're cooled. You want them cooled so that way your whipped cream doesn't turn into milk. And I whipped this by hand because I didn't think that bringing up my big old KitchenAid would be worth it just for this little bit of cream. I actually used a cup and like 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar and like a teaspoon of vanilla. And it's about, they're like soft peaks, nothing big. You don't have to have, I mean you can have stiff peaks, but it's not necessary. Okay, so I got my serrated knife. And all you do is you just cut them all the way in half, like that. And just don't cut your finger off, like that. Whoops. Like that. And you just fill them with a little bit of whipped cream. Okay, these are the finished products. They are filled and ready to go. At this point, before you fill them, you could dip them in chocolate and wait for it to harden and then fill them. You could put little slices of strawberries in between with the cream filling. It's totally up to you. Like I said, they're pretty, versatile. I just like to top mine with a little bit of powdered sugar. done and ready to serve. Enjoy!